I notice more men listen to you compared with other teachers. Because of my childhood, my character gets stuck on needing affection, love, and attention from women. This is perhaps what derails me the most, and it is exhausting at times. As the famous country song goes, have I been looking for love in all the wrong places? I really want to end my projection onto women. I see it all happening, but can't stop it. Any tips? Um, yeah, this is a really interesting thing. The male and female divide. Because when I was in Angelo's talk, I was shocked like how many women there were and how many women were asking questions as compared to my talks. When I do events, it's normally 50-50. Yeah, I think in my book clubs, starting next week, it will be in every book club, I do 3, and there's 6 people, 2 men and then the rest women. But I've also had it the other way where it's like all men and just me or one other woman. It's interesting, the male and female divide. And the way that works, because I think that there's more women into spirituality. I don't know if there's more women into non-duality necessarily, but I know that more women are prepared to go to events and more women are prepared to book on retreats than men are. That's generally the way it is. Men find it harder to be in groups, it seems, or to go to new events or something like retreats by themselves. There are men that do it, but it seems that it generally is more a woman. Women are the ones that are prepared to go out and be in groups than men. So it's very interesting the way it works. And yeah, I'd say that generally male teachers are more popular, way more popular than female teachers. You get the occasional female teacher that's popular, but generally male teachers are way more popular. And I sometimes suspect that's because of the women. Because I think it's easier to go to the opposite gender for this subject. And because there's projections, like you say, from other people. Like projections, you know, from other people, from the, I don't know what to say, student, person that attends. So men often find it easier to listen to this from a female teacher, and females often find it easier to listen to it from a male teacher. There's lots of females that are listening here, but I get the sense that that is the way it is, and it's maybe undone karma, like you say, wanting love and affection from that person, like something that's not fulfilled and unconscious. And any tips on it? Any tips? I mean, the ultimate tip is when you see beingness everywhere and in all things. The love that you seek is in all things. And so if there is a fancying or attraction to me, there can be a bringing up of that beingness, even though you're not aware of it. But when you love something, or you appreciate something, the seeking is stopping. And in the seeking stopping, the separation is stopping. So there is an intimacy with something. So you can understand why it's easier to the other gender. And not everybody's straight though, but you can see it's easier where there's a likelihood of fancying or admiring in some way because it evokes that love. Also, if there was missing mothering, then it could be seen as remothering, especially as now I am a woman. I am no longer a girl. So maybe there's the wanting the mother's affection. So in Tantra and in Bhakti practices, they use, loving the teacher as a reminder of the beingness. So when you love the teacher, so like what they teach is that you have to love the teacher with all your heart to really love it, love them. And then through loving them, that love in you is being brought out. And then you move from the teacher onto other things, like the flowers next to the teacher, or the room, the other people, and then eventually onto yourself. And that's such a beautiful practice. But it's really not me that you're attracted to, affection, or it's not me that you want love from. It's yourself that you want love from. You want beingness, you want home. And it's there in the very core of your being. It's what you're seeing maybe in me, or desiring from me, but it's yourself. So somebody else commented on what you said and said, there is a suspicion that there might be more ego triggering with the same gender polarity. I think that is really true. I can see how I would annoy women. I can see how I would annoy men, but I can see how I would annoy women. And also another thing that might happen is that they might sometimes trigger women's shame or women's low self-esteem. Like I have it and they don't, and then they compare themselves to me. Whereas when you're with the opposite sex, there might be less comparison. So the same with men, if they're with a male teacher, you might be comparing. Yeah. And it might be harder for some men to take what I say from a male teacher, and it might be harder for some women to take what male teachers say from me. So I think that's true as well. But what it does is it ends up making, it's ironic really, because what happens is that most of the teachers that are really famous and popular in non-duality are men. And I do suspect that it's the woman that creates that. And most women don't want to create that. They see the importance of equality. Ironic, eh? And then it's also us women, because I know that I'm not so motivated to do the business stuff as what I see some of the men doing as male teachers that people find important, like good thumbnails and good introductions and this looking tidy and that looking tidy, as I just don't really care about that. But I can see that that's important for people to see someone that looks professional. So it's like both of these things work against female teachers, because I don't think that's just me. I'm in a female non-duality teachers group, and all of them have this issue that they can't really, or find the motivation to do the business side of it, promotion, the editing, painting, nice things and music. Some do though. Some people talk about masculine and feminine energies in awakening, not about men and women, but about these different energies in each of us. Do you have any thoughts on that? Um, well, what masculine and feminine represent in non-duality is the masculine represents the consciousness, which I equate as the emptiness, and the love as the feminine, and that's the everythingness. So the I am, the pure being is the everything and the feminine. And then they both come together and it's one and the same thing, the nothing and the everything, the emptiness and the love. So from a non-dual perspective, the emptiness is the masculine and the everything is the feminine. So if you look in the awakenings of body-mind mechanisms, some people are more in touch with the love side of things and some people more in touch with the emptiness. And it often goes in gender. So the women are more in touch with the love and the men are more in touch with the emptiness. And then women that are more masculine might be more in touch with the emptiness, and men that are more feminine might be more in touch with the love side of things. It's interesting, isn't it? But I don't really have that much to say on the masculine and feminine in us. Yeah. It's a really controversial subject right now with yeah, transgenders and transitioning and becoming non-binary and all these different things.